Hello, my friend, and welcome to this episode of Common Sense View. A few days ago, there was an entourage of delegates from South Africa that went to visit Donald Trump. You tell me that this man is not going to kill anyone. When they were discussing the recent 50-something people of Afrikaners that he had to take as refugees, the president started, defending the constitution of his country. And if you listen to the liberal side of the United States, you see that they were sounding the same tone. That there's nothing bad they are doing to the Afrikaners. And you might think, as a black man, as an African, why am I saying that they are bad? Just 3 years ago, I would have doubted that this is possible. But 3 years ago, a little bit more than that, South Africans went into rampage killing of Nigerians, like destroying their livelihood, killing them in cold blood, setting them on fire. The world kept quiet. And the world kept quiet because there was no, who cares? It's a bloody black men killing black men, just as they do in Chicago. Nobody hears about it until it's a white man that kills a black man. But there's something significant about this. The black people in US have stayed 200 and something years there. And every day they are complaining about how the whole world turned against them. Yet most of them have better life than the place their ancestors were taken from. But these white Afrikaners, most of them have stayed in those areas more than 400 to 500 years. And yet, most of them, especially those in the media, showed no sympathy, empathy on what they were going through. They thought that Trump was doing it because they are white people. And so what? And they're making an unholy comparison between the 12 to 14 million people President Biden let in as against 51 people. And when you look at those 51, I am a Nigerian. If you're coming to my country and you're so proud of my country, even if I hate you, I will show you some consideration. When you look at those people, you see that at least they show that they love the country they're coming in. They were not pushing the guards, they were not shoving anyone. As against what we saw in the US southern border, where they even have to literally push down trained soldiers. Or what we are seeing in the Times Square, where they are fighting cops, beating the crap out of cops. These are just few people, most of them married with their wives. Am I saying that white people are beyond being evil? No, I'm not. I'm only saying what I saw. The people I saw in that position, considering what the South Africans did to Nigerians. What was their crime? That they were prospering more than the indigenous. That's why a lot of Nigerians died. A lot of them lost their livelihood. Of course, they didn't kill all of them and they didn't chase all of them out. But many were displaced. Many lost their livelihood. So I wouldn't be surprised if what they're saying, the way they're killing the white people, is true. I wouldn't be surprised. But one thing is significant. Mugabe tried this and turned a country that is African food basket into the worst inflated country in the world, with 1 billion Zimbabwean dollar worth, I think, $6. And South Africa is going that route. They tried to deny it. And then Trump played them the receipt. Men lie, women lie, but facts don't. So that receipt is what I want to show you now, among other news I have for you this night. But that receipt, you can't deny what you're seeing with your own eyes. But the media, because they are used to confusing everyone, they are used to lying through their teeth, telling us that Joe Biden we saw bumbling and tumbling was deep fake. They thought that they can deceive everyone. They say this particular video have been debunked. Okay, maybe not. But the Nigerians that were killed was not debunked. So I wouldn't be surprised that these people claiming that they are being killed in their farms I wouldn't be surprised that any news saying that this is debunked is also part of media spinning of things out of control to be in charge of the narrative. They want to control the narrative. So this is when Donald Trump played that song for them. You see their reaction, you know that whatever it is, the best way to give somebody medicine is first of all show it to the person. So let's watch.
A lot of people are very concerned with regard to South Africa, and that's really the purpose of the meeting, and we'll see how that turns out. But we have many people that feel they're being persecuted, and they're coming to the United States. So we take from many locations if we feel there's persecution or genocide going on. And we had a lot of people. I must tell you, Mr. President, we have had a tremendous number of people, especially since they've seen this. Generally, they're white farmers, and they're fleeing South Africa, and it's a very sad thing to see. But I hope we can have an explanation of that, because I know you don't want that. It's a kind of a different meeting. Normally we have meetings, we talk about trade, and we'll be talking about trade and other things. But that certainly will be a subject that comes up. Yeah. Yes, please.
Mr. President, this side, what will it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for the President. It's for him.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer. It will be.
My President will respond to you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us on around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So it will take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But, Mr. President, I must say that we have, wait. We have thousands of stories talking about it. Sure. And we have documentaries, we have news stories, and that. Is Natalie here, somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of things, and it has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see the articles, please, if you would, and turn the lights down. Turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you, Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do, with or without you. People are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. Yes. South Africa, occupy land. That's who we are. Honorable member, can withdraw my membership from this useless parliament? Honorable. Yes, honorable member.
Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act.
Shoot to kill. Yamasa. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Pa, 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 pa. To kill. Yamasa. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer.
The mayor of DA in PE is a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain because you have touched a white man. Not because Mashaba and Soli will not be touched. They will be touched, don't worry. But we are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness. It's like
Shoot to kill. Yamasa. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. to kill. Come on, sir. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, was not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter. They freak out. It sounds like a genocidal
Who will expropriate land without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refuge in America.
Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross, and there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road you have crosses. Those people were all killed.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen. But, okay.
I mean, it's in South Africa.
We need to find out.
President Trump, Annika Larson from ENCA in South Africa. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you very
hosting
much.
us. What would you like President Ramaphosa to do about the situation that we've just seen on the screen?
I don't know. Look, these are articles over the last few days. Death of people. Death. Horrible death. Death. I don't know.
But you know that there
Pick
are young
anyone.
people who are
White
dying
South
the most.
Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all. I mean, I'll give these to you. So when you say what would I like to do, I don't know what to do. Look at this. White South African couple say that they were attacked violently.
President Trump, when will you go and see for yourself if it is?
Well, I could do that. Look, here's burial sites all over the place.
President
These are all white farmers that are being buried.
President Trump.
And he asks about a jet that was given.
My first
You
question
ought
is
to
about
be
Africa.
ashamed.
They're not interested in the
You know,
jet.
you are so bad. You're such a bad reporter.
If they're committing genocide, why invite them? If they are committing genocide, why invite the South Africans to the White House?
May I finish, please, President Trump? President
This
Trump,
is
may I
one
finish?
after another. This family was wiped out. I'm just looking.
Can we get a
President
response from President
Ramaphosa, can you give us your
Ramaphosa?
reaction to those videos, Mr. President?
President Trump, could you?
Well, I think
could you
it's.
address
I think the
black people
videos are
dying
so.
more than white people?
No. When you look at the videos, I mean, how does it get worse? And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that kill the white farmer and take their land. That's what it is. And I have other friends in South Africa. I have people that left. One in particular that says you can't go there. He said they want to take your land. They take your land and they kill you. It's okay, and they say it's okay to do. Now we're going to talk about it. But this is a tremendous look. This is story recent. These are all people that recently got killed.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it can get any worse. These are
President Trump,
and you know the men that you saw, the people that you saw in that movie, those are officials. Those are people that were in office. They had one march. They had a dance in your parliament, whatever you may call it, legislature.
But let me clarify that.
Yeah.
Let me clarify that, because what you saw, the speeches that were being made, one, that is not government policy. We have a multi-party democracy in South Africa that allows people to express themselves, political parties to adhere to various policies, and in many cases, or in some cases, those policies do not go along with government policy. Our government policy is completely against what he was saying, even in the parliament. And they're a small minority party, which is allowed to exist in terms of our constitution.
But you do allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take land.
Nobody can take land.
And then when they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No. There is
nothing happens to them.
There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately, through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people. And we have now
the farmers aren't black. The farmers are not black. I don't say that's good or bad, but the farmers are not black. And the people that are being killed in large numbers, and you saw all those grave sites, and those are people that loved ones going, I guess on a Sunday morning, they tell me, to pay respect to their loved ones that were killed. Their heads chopped off. They died violently. And we're here to talk about it, and I didn't know we'd get involved here, but I will say this, that if the news wasn't fake like NBC, which is fake news, totally, one of the worst, ABC, NBC, CBS, horrible, but if they weren't fake news like this jerk that we have here, if we had real reporters, they'd be covering it, but the fake news in this country doesn't talk about that. They don't want to talk about it, but now they have to talk about it. But they won't. This won't even be a subject. They'll have him talking about why did a country give a free, think of this, why did a country give an airplane to the United States Air Force? Okay? The United States, not to me, to the United States Air Force, so they could help us out, because we need an Air Force One until that's Air Force One, it's being built. 2 of them being built. But Boeing's a little bit late, unfortunately. So why did they give us a plane to the United States Air Force? That's what that idiot talks about after viewing a thing where thousands of people are dead.
I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you.
I wish you did. I'd take it. I would take it. If your country offered the United States Air Force a plane, I would take it.
Okay. But coming back to this issue, which I really would like us to talk about, and talk about it very calmly. We were taught by Nelson Mandela that whenever there are problems, people need to sit down around a table and talk about them.
Well, there are problems.
And this is precisely what we would also like to talk about, including, of course, trade matters, investment matters. So the issues that concern you as the United States.
Those are all recent. And those are all deaths.
Yeah, in many ways, I mean, one should say you are a partner of South Africa, and you are raising concerns, and these are concerns that we are willing to talk to you about. Let me just add quickly, the criminality that we are experiencing in our country needs quite a lot of technological capability. And in one of our areas in South Africa, we're using US technology, which is able to, in many ways, identify where shootings are happening and all that. And I'd like to talk about that, because there is support that we can get from you as the United States to help us deal with all these acts of criminality. And that is what I believe partnership is all about. And we are here as a partner so that we can help each other whenever there are challenges. So I'd like us to discuss it, and of course outside of the media, so that we sit down and have a really good discussion that will lead to good outcomes.
Are there any other further punitive measures that could be in place should you not be satisfied that South Africa is fixing some of the very bad things, in inverted commas, that you tweeted are happening?
Well, there are a lot of bad things happening in many countries, but this in particular has been very, very bad, and because of we're going to have the whole world watching in another short period of time, because you have the G20, and that's a big deal. And it seems like Yeah, I mean, I want you to look good. I don't want you to look bad.
Very good.
But we have hundreds of people, thousands of people trying to come into our country because they feel they're going to be killed and their land is going to be confiscated. And you do have laws that were passed that gives you the right to confiscate land for no payment. You can take away land for no payment.
I want to clarify that. Because we have a constitution. Our constitution guarantees and protects the sanctity of tenure of land ownership. And that constitution protects all South Africans with regard to land ownership. However, we do say, because we've got to deal with the past, the government, and as your government also has the right to expropriate land for public use.
And you're doing that.
And we've never really gotten underway with that. And we are going to be doing
you're
so.
You're taking people's land away from them. And those people, in many cases, are being executed. They're being executed. And they happen to be white, and most of them happen to be farmers. And that's a tough situation. I don't know how you explain that. How do you explain that? They're taking people's land away, and in many cases, those people are being executed. And in many cases, it's not the government that's doing it. It's people that kill them and then take their land, and nothing happens to them. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country. They're also going to Australia in a smaller number. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country, and they're white farmers, and they feel that they're going to die in South Africa.
That's all I have for you at this segment. So thank you so much for listening. If you have not subscribed, please don't forget to do so, and don't forget to like and share your comments at the comment side. And until we meet again, remain blessed.